Blog Talk Radio.
Time again. This is Infinite Source Broadcast Network, and you are listening to The New Element. I am your host, Renegade Smith. Oh, yeah. Tonight, we have one rockin', to use the word loosely, we have one rockin' show coming up, and this is kind of like part 3 or part 4 of something that me and Dennis Ford have been doing about the music industry itself. And there's a lot to be known about this sick and twisted industry. And Mr. Friday Night is right here. Here he is.
Yes, sir. How are you doing tonight, AJ?
Man, I'll tell you, I'm pumped for this show, brother. I love when we do these shows. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
What is this, like part 4? Part 3?
Yeah, it's it's a show that you could actually do 10 parts on, because it's so, the rabbit hole is so deep when it comes to the music industry. I don't think a lot of people really understand, how deep it really goes, because
when you said so deep, but there should have been an echo on deep.
Because, the music industry, the entertainment aspect of it, through the major outlets, the MTVs, on down the line, this is something very powerful that they use extensively. It's something it's very powerful to, the elites, the people that control the music industry, is something that they use, and it's undeniable when you look at it, just the influence that mainstream music has on people and how it captivates people, and on down the line, as you know, Renegade, as you already know.
And it's everywhere, man. Like we had said before, just you can be blind and be surrounded by, music all day. See, people who are blessed with sight might not notice it because it's such an everyday part of our lives. But I mean, think about it. You turn on your TV, every show has got music going. Then the commercials come on, and all the commercials are usually backed by a song. You go into your favorite department store, and I'm sure they got music maybe playing in a speaker, unless you're in Walmart. They're too cheap.
Right.
Or, it's everywhere. It's in movies. I mean, it holds suspense when you're watching a movie. It'll break you down and make you cry. You watch these heart-wrenching parts where, like, the dolphin's dying and they've been trying to save it, and, like, this real slow music's playing it. They know it has power. They know it has power to sway hearts. That's why they use it as a weapon. And I think the last time that we did this show was called Weaponized Music.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in essence, essentially that's what it is. And also, everybody has like a soundtrack to their lives going back to when they were kids.
Oh, yeah.
You can remember songs that you've heard throughout your life that when you hear them again, it takes you back to, that moment in your life.
Right.
And, again, myself, just speaking for myself, when I got into heavy activism and actually, waking up, quote unquote, before that, I was a big fan of mainstream music. I grew up on it. I grew up, going to high school or parties or whatever it was, and it, at one time mainstream music was a big influence in my life, and I couldn't even really tell you why Renegade, because even looking back, some of that music is garbage. It's just complete nonsense. A lot of the music I used to listen to, even up to modern day, because we have an award show coming up. I think it's tomorrow.
Oh, yay.
Again, MTV. A lot of these award shows, I just refer to them as satanic celebration, because essentially that's what they are.
But
that's coming up tomorrow night.
And, red, white, and black all over the place. Last year's MTV Music Awards, it were just absolutely disgusting with the Illuminati symbolisms through it, and you can call them what they will. That's the one thing about the Illuminati. I mean, they were started back in 1776, supposedly the year our country was started. Adam Weishaupt brought it about here, but these are families that have these oligarch families that think that they rule over us because they own everything, and we supposedly need what they have to offer, and they own the music industry. I mean, the Rockefeller Foundation is heavily involved with it. David Rockefeller, he's one right there. You look at his book, he admits to being in a cabal that is wanting to basically take over the world. You will answer to him, not to the Constitution. And there's people out there admitting that your sovereignty will be gone. They're putting it right in your face.
Right.
And they use the music industry as it's a big tool. It really is.
Yeah, like
music
I was saying,
very powerful.
Yeah, like I was saying, again, to go back to this award show, again, Miley Cyrus is hosting the show, and anybody that's familiar with her, if you're familiar with her Disney days and Hannah Montana and all this other stuff, to look where she's at now, none of her teenage fans really, they all went through that transition that she did. And if you look at her now, it's just a complete circus to look at Miley Cyrus and what she's doing. And to make her a host of the show, for me, that's just another reason not to watch the show. But also millions of people are gonna watch this show, and she's just I don't even understand the draw or the influence that she has. But again, she's hosting tomorrow, and a long list of other people that completely make a mockery of what we consider music, because for me, music is something. Like you said, it is powerful, but for me, music is something I really take it seriously, man, because these people have millions and millions of fans, whether they're young or whatever age bracket they fall into. They have the power and the influence to reach millions of people, but look at the message that they're putting out. I mean, it's complete trash. I mean, it's
junk.
Yeah, it's
junk.
It's not good for you. There's an old saying, I think it was, I'm not sure of the philosopher, but he said the music that you listen to, eventually you're going to emulate. And it's true, because, again, when I was younger, a lot of music I was listening to, whether it was hip-hop or whatever, it was a lot of heavy drug influence, glorifying the thug lifestyle. And I was playing into that, and it had a lot to do with the music I was listening to. Not that I was weak-minded or anything. It's just that this music is so powerful. Like I said, I don't think people really understand, the influence that the music has over people.
I mean, look at the Columbine shooting. I forget what song. They were listening to a Rammstein song, supposedly, from what the way the story goes. You had that lawsuit with Judas Priest years ago for the song Stained Glass. I mean, music will control you. Think about it. I remember before, we used to go, to do something, to fight or to, a sporting event, or, even doing a show tonight, man. I have music that I listen to that pumps me up, that gets me going,
Right.
And everyone's got that. And I like how you mentioned that, that everyone's got the soundtrack to their life, because me, you, and Lee had talked about actually doing a show where all three of us would share that soundtrack, each song and with the memories that were attached to it. You listen to a song and it brings forth these memories. And you also listen to a song and it subliminally can affect you. And that's one thing that the string pullers know, especially people involved with the Rockefeller Foundation. They are involved in a lot of things. Do your research, people. I'm not going to sit here and waste time and name them all off, because our focus isn't the Rockefeller industry. But they know that 440 megahertz is disruptive and actually causes stress to the human body. Now they're making guitar tuners for 440 megahertz. You know, this is not like the God wavelength that he'd want you to tune at. I think that'd be like 532 or something like that. So, you know, all these songs are being done through 440 because, you know, the Rockefeller Foundation says so. Hey, guys, you got to tune at this and, you know, make these songs and, you know, hey, we're going to put a couple verses in there that people won't understand. You know, just say this. It is absolutely controlled. It is weaponized. It's absolutely disgusting.
Right.
So, Denny,
well,
let's do this before we actually get going. We need people to understand what the New World Order is before we can even get into, you know, how they're using and abusing people like you just said, Miley Cyrus. I mean, she was turned inside out, MK Ultra style.
Right. Well, before you do that, I know you have a clip or whatever to run, but again, the New World Order idea, right? It's told to us as researchers or people, anybody that may be interested in it, that it's not happening. You know, it's just something. You're a conspiracy theorist if you think that these people could possibly be working on this plan. But if you pull up these clips or you pull up these politicians or global elite, Bilderberg people, whatever it is, they're constantly talking about a New World Order. But for us to mention it or to research it or to try to warn people that possibly they are working on this, again, we're labeled conspiracy theorists. So it's one of those things where it's they want you to think that they're not working on it, it's not happening, it couldn't be a possibility in a million years, but at the same time it is really happening, and it's not a conspiracy theory. It's actually been planned out for a long time. Also, like you mentioned earlier, with subliminal programming, I mean, I could run off a list of multiple different things that I've seen through television and movies where it's been thrust in our face, this whole idea of a New World Order. So, again, it is, for me personally, my standpoint on it is, you know, it is something they're working on. And, again, it's not something that people should take lightly. It's not something that you should we get a lot of people that joke about the things that we research or we look into, and you really shouldn't do that. Again, I'm not trying to judge anybody or anything, but again, this is a very serious thing, and it is coming. It's being, you know, it's a work in progress. Why they haven't done it yet, I can't tell you, Renegade. You know, I kind of wish they would get it over because
we keep foiling them. I
understand that, but I'm saying from the aspect, right? I'm saying from the aspect of, you know, a Christian individual looking at it. I kind of wish it would hurry up and get over because we all know how this story ends.
Right, exactly.
But yeah.
Hey, I'm going to play this clip. Keep your eye out for an 856 area code. We are expecting another guest tonight. Ninja Scroll. This man's music is incredible. He speaks truth, just blazes the trails with truth in his songs, and he is on point when it comes to this stuff. I mean, I would like to talk about, of course, we're going to get into Alice Bailey and, you know, Lucis Trust and all that. Now he's got that song,
Crowley,
Alice Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So let's kick this thing off. I'm going to play this clip. It's about 5 minutes long. These are quotes of these scumbags that a lot of people glorify, like George Bush, Henry Kissinger. We have David Rockefeller on there. Now, he's close to the end of this. So pay attention when he comes on because I want to touch on what he says at the end of his speech. So here we go. Denny, if you see an 856 come in, that is Ninja. And any callers, hang tight. We will be bringing you in. Definitely want to get Ninja in here. Soon, hopefully he calls in as soon as this clip is over. So, Denny, I'm going to keep you live, man. If you want, just mute your phone.
Okay.
And,
no problem.
Here we go. New World Order quotes from the people who, you know, they're on TV. They love to scratch each other's backs and make each other out to be like these great, truthful, and honest people that, well, they're not really out to kill you, are they?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Not at all.
Henry Kissinger, he's such a stand-up guy.
Right.
Yeah. Here we go.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
there's a need for a new world order, but it has different characteristics in different parts of the world.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
A world in which there is a very real prospect of a new world order.
It's about the future of Europe and a new world order.
After 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
And the hope that each of us has to build a new world order.
The pieces are in flux. Soon they will settle again. Before they do, let us reorder this world around us.
So that the problem of the Bush presidency will be the emergence of a new international order.
Within the next 4 years, we will see the emergence of a new international order.
The beginning of a new international order.
But today, with Asia already outproducing Europe, India and China are clearly becoming part of our new order. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, a new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges.
I think his task will be to develop an overall strategy for America in this period when really a new world order can be created. It's a great opportunity. It isn't just a crisis.
That this crisis, in the way that has developed, will require some kind of world governance.
Good evening, everybody. President Obama and British Prime Minister Gordon today calling for a new world order to tackle our global economic crisis.
And the President outlined his vision of a new world order in which the U.S. would participate fully.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
So I see a world order in the future with a multipolar world order.
I think a new world order is emerging, and with it the foundations of a new and progressive era of international cooperation. We have resolved that from today we will together manage the process of globalization to secure responsibility from all and fairness to all.
And one of the ways that will drive the change is through global governance and global agreements.
But in a globalized economy, we are going to have to take global responsibilities, and there is going to have to be some semblance of global governance.
Never before has a new world order had to be assembled from so many different perceptions or on so global a scale. Nor has any previous order had to combine the attributes of the historic balance of power system with global democratic opinion and the exploding technology of the contemporary period.
There also exists an extraordinary opportunity to form for the first time in history a truly global society.
Well, during the conflict with Saddam Hussein, which he handled so superbly in a short-term sense, but he kept talking about a new world order. And then President Bush, at the end of that war, promised he would give 4 graduation addresses, 4 commencement addresses, describing that new world order and what America's role was going to be in it. It turned out he gave one of those addresses and canceled the other 3 and talked about something else. That's why, because they weren't ready yet.
That in fact we're all going to have to give up a little bit of our sovereignty in order to make the world work.
And I strongly believe India will be a central actor in the new world order.
And this present window of opportunity during which a truly peaceful and interdependent world order might be built will not be here for too long. Already there are powerful forces at work that threaten to destroy all of our hopes and efforts to erect an enduring structure of global cooperation.
Are you optimistic a global system can happen from what we've heard so far?
It could happen, and in fact it's in the works.
I mean, but sir, just one thing, we could go on about how your family committed all these acts against society, but we just want to let you know the New World Order has no legitimacy, and that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting the economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
we just want to let you know the New World Order has no legitimacy,
and that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting this economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
Denny, did you hear David Rockefeller speaking? He says, already we have global forces that are standing in our way of our hopes for a new world order. You've got, who are those forces, by the way? Well, I can name you a couple. The people that want no part of their globalist system, this empire, which would be probably Russia, because Putin, a week or two ago, came out and basically piss off. Iran, they're the bad guys. Hold on. North Korea, they're bad too. So is Libya, even though all the people love Gaddafi. He did a lot for his people on his own dime. We had, Iraq, Afghanistan. There was a list of 7 countries that they wanted to take over because they were resisting. And guess what? I guess we kind of stand in the way too because we ain't going for it.
Right. In essence, anybody that's against what they're building is a problem. It is what it is.
Oh, you're an extremist. Oh,
yeah.
Can't have extremists. You can't have people who love their freedom, love their country, love their sovereignty. Did you hear that one guy say that? Oh, yeah, we're going to lose our sovereignty in the New World Order. You're going to lose a little bit of sovereignty. A little bit? No, you're going to lose it all because they're going to have a probe up every orifice of your body. Samsung comes out and finally admits, Denny, they finally admit to what we've been saying for years. Your TV's spying on you. They come out and finally admitted that it's databasing everything that you're saying in your home. Hello?
Right.
Come on, people. We're conspiracy theorists. We're wackos, right? That's what they want you to believe because we're going against them. I guess we're the ones that stand in the way of David Rockefeller. He just needs to die already. My God, he's 6 heart transplants now? Man, that demon skin suit is just dying.
Right. And also, again, to touch back on, the whole topic here, when it comes to music, just hip-hop music alone, I mean, I can go back to early 90s, probably even before then, and there's multiple songs with a reference to the New World Order in the lyrics, in the lyrics. So, again, it's not something that people are unfamiliar with. Even if you look at professional wrestling back in the 90s,
NWO.
Hulk Hogan, they had the whole NWO thing going on there. Not to mention TBS was owned by Ted Turner, so...
Look at all their, you're going back in the 90s, they actually mention this stuff, but look at the album covers. I mean, look at the group Asia. Anyone listening right now, go Google Asia album covers. There's this massive pyramid. Look at the Supertramp album. The Supertramp album is you looking out of a jet window. Now take that album and flip it and put it in the mirror. It says 9/11. Hello? They've been using bands, artists, the whole thing for predictive programming, preconditioning. You think about it. The New World Order is this glorious thing. They're trying to make it sound like such a great thing, a world ruled by law. They don't know what law is. Why do I say that? Because they don't even uphold the Constitution, and that is supreme law here in America.
Right. I just think about Kiss Assinger there, where his Dracula
he talks
voice.
like he's dead. You're right. His Dracula voice. The New World Order is I should be dead by now, but I live, a demon pumping through my blood.
Well, also, Renegade, when it comes to music, modern day music, on down the line, there's this new age, New World Order philosophy that's pushed through the music. The whole YOLO thing, you only live once, or just do what you want to do. It even goes back to
do as thou wilt.
Yeah, it even goes back to Frank Sinatra. The song "Did It My Way." People think that's just a song, but basically he's saying he did what he wanted to do in life, and he didn't need God. He did it his way. And people can debate or say what they want about that, but that's a philosophy that has been in music, mainstream music, for a long time, even up to modern day. Jay-Z, Joe Camel. Joe Camel is a big Aleister Crowley fan. Do what thou wilt.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you for saying that. If anyone's listening right now online, pay attention to the pictures. You're going to see a picture of Jay-Z with a black T-shirt on the bottom. It reads, "Do as thou wilt." That is straight out of Aleister Crowley's mouth, who was a Satanist, and Anton LaVey. It's the beginning of his Bible. See, they go against the Satanists go against the Christians because we're not supposed to do thou wilt. We're supposed to do God's will, and that's love. You do your own will. That's killing and all sorts of other stuff. Whatever you want to do. And who was that? Lady Gaga. I think it was the other picture on there where she's like you're saying, go do what you want to do. Basically same context. Do as thou wilt. Go do what you want to do.
Well, it's funny. It's fine. And also, I think we have 856 number here.
That's him. 856-453 or something like that.
Yeah, I just want to throw this out there because it's funny because these people that talk about this, just doing what you want to do. There's no consequences for your actions.
No order.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Like I said, these people reach millions of people on through their music. So basically, they're just leading you to destruction. They're leading you to hell, and that's what they're doing. And they get paid a lot of money. I brought this up last week in a post. If you ever look at the people in the entertainment industry, there's a reason why they make millions and millions of dollars. They're not making all that money because they're talented. They're not winning awards because they're talented. They're winning awards and making all this money because they have a job to do, and their job to do is exactly what they're doing.
Very true, man. Very true. And how many people they've brought down through their influence.
Right.
I mean,
and they know what they're doing.
Look at Miley Cyrus, man. She is a pig. And it's funny how Disney turns these people inside out.
Right.
Turns them inside out. I mean, she was like this wholesome girl, and all the parents are like, oh, Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, oh, go get her music. Yeah, can you? I can guarantee you there's a whole bunch of witch work done on that stuff. You think she was writing that? Who's her handler? Her father?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Talent has nothing to do with it at this point because there's this big thing about ghostwriters in the hip-hop industry. That's nothing new. That goes through all genres of music. These people have a lot of people writing their songs for them, and they get paid money. They get paid millions of dollars to just shut up and perform these songs. Half the time, I'm pretty sure they don't even know what the hell they're talking about in the music. They're just thinking the money's good. It doesn't really matter. But there's ghostwriters all throughout the music industry, and they're put there for a reason. They're not just ghostwriting and writing these songs for people. It's all part of the plan.
I've mentioned this before. I'm gonna say it again. We do get a lot of new listeners here. So if we repeat ourselves to some of our regulars, we're sorry, but hey, man, just bear with us.
Right.
What blew my mind, you hear all this subliminal stuff. You take Led Zeppelin's work and you play it backwards, or take the Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust. There's just so much subliminal.
That goes to Crowley, Renegade. Real quick, just throw that out there.
Motley Crue.
The playing the music backwards is a Crowley phenomenon. That's something that he talked about in a lot of his writings. Playing music backwards is something that he was a big advocate
they used
for.
to read scripture backwards.
Right. Now think about this. All these music artists, whether they're pedophiles or they get caught doing some sick, weird, twisted shit, it all ties back into these, the shit that they're tapped into that we don't know, and we don't know about because we haven't signed up for the secret societies and everything else.
Man, I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that shit.
In blood.
There's a reason for that shit because even Aleister Crowley thought that if you do weird shit to kids, you get magical powers from that shit. They practice
especially
sex
drinking
magic
their blood.
and shit. Right, and it's not hidden. It's not something that
it's in the music.
Shrouded from people. I mean, it's openly admitted by a lot of people. Even when they talk about selling their soul, Renegade, when they casually get on television and say, I sold my soul to the devil. They're not just saying that to be funny. They really mean that. And people can say whatever they want, but there's a substance to that. There's a reason why these people do what they do.
Well, this is the thing. Exactly. The reason why is because they're becoming more and more blatant. You go back in the day, like with Motley Crue, like I was saying earlier, I know I've said this before, but I want to say it again for the new listeners. Their album, Shout at the Devil, it had satanic symbols all over it. Not only the upside down cross with the inverted pentagram, whatever, but on the inside sleeve of that tape, when you open it up, a little writing right in the sleeve, like somewhere where you wouldn't notice, it said, "This album contains backward messages."
Right.
Backwards messages is subliminal messages, so it's backmasking. And I was just like, wow, holy crap, what the heck? It's just, this is where they're using music as a weapon. They are influencing you, and you don't even know what's going on. That's the sick part. It's the deception. But now they're so blatant. The FCC got really lax in their in what they allow on the radio, because back in the day, like, any sexual innuendos would kind of be hidden a little bit, but now it's like, Truffle Butter, come on.
Right.
All these songs, man, they just put it out there, say what they want to say, and they let it go. Look at the hand symbols that they're using.
Right.
Come on.
Renegade, I could go into, again, just through hip hop music. Extensive, in-depth things that I picked up on and researched multiple times and came across. Like I said, this rabbit hole is very deep, and a lot of people write it off because they've grown attached to these idols, and anything that you say about them in a negative light makes you a hater, and you're jealous that you don't have millions of dollars like these people. But again, I wouldn't put things out there unless I've researched it and looked into it. And it's not that I'm hating on these people. It's just that, again, in this modern day age, Renegade, everything that's evil and everything that's bad is praised. And even when you talk about it and point it out, people will still support it to their death. If these artists told people to jump off a bridge and kill themselves, they would do it. And they don't even know why. They just, it's just a connection to these artists. Like, these artists are gods. You even have rap artists and people claiming to be God, because essentially that's how they feel. Kanye West, he thinks he's Jesus or some shit. Jay-Z,
Jesus.
Joe Camel, Jay-Z, his nickname is Jehovah. On down the line, man,
right.
These people really believe they're gods, and people are like, yeah, go ahead.
Look at Jay-Z's, for one, his label, Rockefeller Records. Come on, David Rockefeller, the Rockefeller Foundation. Look at his gear, Rockefeller gear. And it's got Luciferian symbolism and Masonic symbolism all through it. And then he's going to sit there and act like he isn't part of that? You've got to be freaking kidding me. It's disgusting, man.
Well, check this out, Renegade, and we'll get Ninja scrolling here because he just sent me a message. But check this out,
we see you, Ninja.
Hip-hop,
we're bringing you in.
Yeah, through hip-hop music, there's always been this influence of being gangster and shit like that. Well, when it comes to Jay-Z, gangster to him is the Illuminati and the secret societies, Freemasonry, whatever it is. To him, that's some gangster shit. So what he's doing is just emulating. He's paying homage or paying respect to them, perpetuating and putting out their message. That's essentially what he's doing. He's, the hand signals, naming his record label Rockefeller. That's not, that's not him being anything else but just paying homage to these people, because basically he's like a ball licker. He likes licking balls and kissing ass.
A boot licker.
And that's why he's so, that's why he's where he's at right now. He's not where he's at because he's talented. Again, like I said earlier, it has nothing to do with talent in the music industry, because there's people in the underground. I could name rappers all day long that would destroy any of these artists in the mainstream. Just on lyrical content alone. But
Ninja Scroll would.
Yeah, a lot of artists that I would mention are not willing to sign that contract. And even if they were approached to sign the contract, a lot of them wouldn't do it. They wouldn't have any parts of it, including yourself, Renegade. If they ever approached you, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, hey, I'm not interested, no matter how much money they're willing to pay you. But some people are willing to do that, and this is where you get your your complete moronic, idiotic rappers that we have nowadays that are just they're actually killing hip hop. They're actually destroying something that I've grown up on and really passionate about, and they're actually destroying it. But like I said, with that being said, we'll get Ninja Scroll in here and get his thoughts on it. But if you got anything to add, Renegade, go ahead.
Let's do this real quick. I want to play this one clip with 2 Chainz. Now, for the listeners, I took him actually talking out of the audio because I'm not down with the F-bombs and the foul tongue, man. But he makes some really good points. And I want to play this what this commentator is saying here. It's about 4 minutes long. As soon as this is over, we are going to be joined by Ninja Scroll. This man is filled with knowledge. His music is incredible. And
right.
we're definitely going to get with him. But check
and like
this
I said,
out. I don't even know who 2 Chainz is, but he's calling these people out. And if anybody wants, please, let me know. I'll send you the video so you can see some of the images he's talking about. But he pretty much explains them the right way. Basically, what I took out is 2 Chainz saying how. And Denny, I wanted to ask you about this, and I want to ask Ninja Scroll this as well when we bring him in as soon as this audio is over. What he's saying is that these rappers are just doing their thing, and these directors are the ones that are putting these hand symbols and these Illuminati symbols into the videos. So that way, because they know it's a hot subject, they get more hits on the song and get more hits on YouTube.
Right, it's controvery. Yeah, there is some truth to that. We'll talk about that when we come back, but also we'll talk to Ninja Scroll, and we do have a good friend of ours, Mattrix. Mattrix is joining us.
Yeah, he's there too.
So,
we got 515 there also.
All right, we'll get to that when we come back.
Yeah, let's roll this out, man. Take a listen to what this guy's saying, and we'll be right back.
After he was falsely accused of being a member of the secret society, rapper 2 Chainz has now blamed directors for the increasing prevalence of Illuminati symbolism in hip-hop videos. Accusations were leveled at 2 Chainz last year after he joked during an interview that he was a member of the Illuminati. But in an interview with Vlad TV, 2 Chainz blames directors for inserting Illuminati symbolism into rap videos and basically says that the artists themselves are largely unaware of what's taking place. And 2 Chainz went on to point out that the phenomenon of Illuminati symbolism in rap music videos has only kind of occurred over the past 10 years, and it wasn't evident before that. He also makes the point that movies starring prominent black actors do not include the same Illuminati symbolism. So he's basically saying the directors are doing it, they've learned it over the past 10 years, they've learned that it creates controversy, it creates discussion, and it ensures that rap music videos get more viewers, get more hits on YouTube, get more attention. And while that's a fair point, it doesn't explain why prominent musicians and rappers openly display Illuminati hand symbols and also wear Illuminati symbolism on their clothing. Numerous prominent musicians do precisely this. It's not the directors forcing them to do it. They choose to do it themselves. For example, Beyonce flashing up the pyramid hand sign at the Super Bowl recently. Or Beyonce again wearing a Baphomet ring on her finger. Here we see Kanye West wearing a Baphomet t-shirt during a live performance. Baphomet, of course, was the pagan deity that was adopted by the Church of Satan as its symbol. And here we see Jay-Z wearing clothing bearing the quote, "Do what thou wilt," which of course was said by Satanist Aleister Crowley, who also was deeply racist about black people, which makes it all the more bizarre that Jay-Z should wear clothing bearing his words. So while 2 Chainz' point about directors being to blame for Illuminati symbolism in rap videos, which has been particularly apparent over the last decade, there's no doubt that the likes of Jay-Z, Kanye West, Beyonce and the rest of them are themselves fostering and encouraging this fad. Now, whether you believe that's because they genuinely think they're part of an Illuminati secret society that runs the world through popular culture and rap music, or whether they're just doing it to be part of a fad that they think is trendy and cool, which then translates into their audience, into their fans doing the same thing, that's up to you. But there's no doubt that modern culture is littered with this stuff. Here's Eminem doing the devil horns covering up the one eye. But here we also see the one eye symbolism in a children's TV show, House of Anubis. So it's not just in rap music that we're seeing this. Here's Bono covering up one eye after receiving an award from the Queen. But we also see it in advertising. Here's the Italian jewellery and luxury goods company, Bulgari, showcasing again the eye inside the pyramid Illuminati symbolism. So what do you think? Is this all just some mindless fad promulgated by directors, magazine publishers, people involved in the entertainment industry? Or is it a symbol of power being expressed by those who seek to communicate the fact that they are part of the enlightened ones, that they are part of the Illuminati?
Well, there you have it, brother. I mean, it's God has laid it all out there. I mean, I really think this goes well beyond their anybody, their A&R reps or their directors or whatever. I mean, you got the Rockefeller Foundation sitting right there with them, telling them what to do. They own the music industry. So on that note, Ninja Scroll, we need a man in here. Ninja.
Yo, what's going on?
Are you with us?
What's up, Ninja Scroll? I'm here. What's going on?
What do you think about that
my
clip?
man.
Yeah.
When I listened to it, when he was talking about how the directors are doing it and the artists don't know what's happening, some of that is true, but the majority of the artists know exactly what's going on. And if anybody's ever been part of a video shoot, which I've been part of before, where I could be with Wu-Tang Clan and stuff like that, we shot plenty of videos with them. We know what we're doing in each shot. It's like a storyboard written up there, and you have to follow the storyboard. And they tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So you know what you're doing. And most of these artists know exactly what's going on when they're doing this stuff. It's not something that they're being tricked into doing. There's some of them that don't know any better, but most of them do.
Yeah, let me ask you something real quick, Ninja Scroll, because, again, when it comes to the music video, again, with the platform, whether it's MTV or wherever it is, this video is being played, they know the power of those messages and those images in the music videos. So, my question to you is, basically that. A lot of artists, like you said, they do know what they're doing, but like I said, just the power of the messages and the images that they portray. I mean, could you touch on that real quick?
A lot of stuff that they put out there is satanic in nature, satanic symbols which do have power. If you look into, like, same thing with numbers, have certain powers, like numerology and the occult, they use that all the time. There's a lot of power in these images. The devil horns and the all-seeing eye. There's a lot of power in them. It's satanic, and it's spiritual. It's a spiritual war we're fighting here. And most people don't understand that. I don't see that. That's what it is, but that's exactly what it is. And
well, that's part of it.
Not only to communicate with each other to say who put it down with, but it's also hexes and spells and all that stuff that goes on with it.
Right.
Right. Well,
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. How many music videos do you see with rappers in it where they're throwing up, Christian symbols? They're not putting any in there because, again, these images would have, not necessarily power, but there's a reason why they're not putting Christian images in the music videos and why it's all satanic.
The thing about Christian images is, like, in the Bible, we're not supposed to have images like that. So
exactly.
I mean, so that's one reason why Christian artists don't do that. And we're not supposed to have idols and items of trinkets and stuff like that.
Ninja, wouldn't you think that, like, these Luciferian power symbols, such as the revealing of the eye, or the as Jay-Z calls it, the rock, which is the pyramid, but wouldn't these be in direct combat with the cross?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that they're preparing you for something. A lot of times they use that as a way to to signal others with who they're with, like I said before, with their allegiance of each other. But a lot of it is it's a preparation tactic that they use. It's like pre-programming us for something that's coming.
Preconditioning.
And then when we see it somewhere else, we say, oh, that's nothing. That's what Jay-Z used to do or whatever. You know, like if you show somebody, you guys were touching on Anton LaVey earlier. If you show somebody a picture of him doing the same symbol that Jay-Z does, then it opened up. Because it's a black and white picture. You've all seen the picture. Black and white picture of Anton LaVey with the all-seeing eye, with the rock symbol over his eye. And that was back in the 1970s or 60s that he was doing that. So this symbol is not new. It's a symbol that's been, used back in the Bible days, this all-seeing eye, this pyramid. And look at the pyramids of Egypt and
same thing with the devil horns. The devil horns.
That's the cornucopia or whatever they call it in there.
They call it the satanic salute or the sign of the ram. Anton LaVey was big with that. Anton LaVey, for the listeners, he actually wrote the Satanic Bible. He had a counterpart named Michael Aquino, who is dead now.
Yes.
But he was actually, just to show how deep this goes for the people, Michael Aquino started the Temple of Set. He was it was an off-spin of the Church of Satan in San Francisco. But Michael Aquino was head. Here you go. This ties right in with the music. Michael Aquino was head of psychological operations in Vietnam, and he had top clearance into the Pentagon. This is sick. This guy was brought up on charges for child molestation and rape and brutality and all sorts of stuff. And this guy has access into the Pentagon. These are the people we're dealing with.
Keep in mind that these symbols that they use are used in satanic rituals. So that's where the power is, the spiritual power is coming from. They use the pyramids and the hexagrams and the pentagrams and stuff in the circle. These are all used in witchcraft. They're used in satanic rituals. So when we see it, they're trying to desensitize us when they flash it all in the movies and they flash it all in the music. So it makes it like, oh, that's
perfect. You said it, brother. You said it exactly. They are trying to desensitize us. Exactly what they're doing.
They do that with the murder and everything. I mean, how many shows are on television where it's not involved with,
video games,
death and destruction?
Video games.
We see that every day.
Well, I can shoot these people up and just hit reset if I get killed.
Yeah, Ninja said it too with video games. I mean, look at the video games. When I was a kid, not to go that far back. I mean, I'm not that old, but
it does go that far back. That's the thing.
I mean, I'm just saying, we had Mario Brothers and shit like that. So now, you get all these video games now where it's just that's part of what it is. They just put death and destruction in every game that comes out nowadays, from Mortal Kombat on down to the military style games, the Call of Duties and everything else that are just basically glorifying war.
Yeah, check this out. Val Ann, she used to be a radio show host on Freedomizer. She's big into games, and she was telling me, she's like, I just broke through this wall. She's like an online gamer. And she said on the other side of this wall was this huge pyramid with an eye right in the middle of it. So they're putting these symbols even in the video games.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 was big for that because when it was released, everybody was like, "Oh, well, they're talking about conspiracies and Illuminati and all this other stuff," trying to make it a joke, I guess. But at the same time, these things are thrust in our faces on a daily basis.
Well, that's Denny. It goes beyond that, Ninja. I know you know this. This whole thing, with the Illuminati and Freemasonry, it's not even a secret society anymore. It is dinner table talk. It's they are now welcoming us into their ways because, think about it, Ninja, you got your song Alice Bailey. They straight up said that Freemasonry, they want Freemasonry to be the religion of the world. Well, what hides behind Freemasonry is Luciferianism. It's deep rooted in it. And, it's they want it to become the norm. So no more secret societies. Let's just put it out in everybody's face. Let's become blatant with it. Put it in everything we can. Put the symbols in everything we can. Album covers. Have these the rappers or even these metal bands or your normal bands doing the satanic salute on stage. It's just out and about, man. They're trying to make it the norm, and as Ninja said, desensitize us to it. And they know they have to influence a generation in order to change the future to the way they want it to go.
Yeah, to be honest,
Which would be the Luciferian New World Order.
Yeah, to be honest, too, hip-hop, again, hip-hop music has been using this satanic stuff, again, to create controversy and views and people talking about it. This is what they use to get people talking about their YouTube videos or whatever. But also, this is nothing new. I think about all the rock bands, even when my parents were growing up, that were heavily influenced by satanic stuff in their music. So it's not anything new.
Back in the day, Denny, you had to become a witch. You had to become a Satanist in order to get a record contract.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know that stuff probably still happens now. I mean, you might not have to become a witch, but when you guys are talking about selling your soul to Satan,
right.
You know, when you say that to people, they probably think that's nuts. And yeah, right, whatever. Nobody can sell their soul to Satan, but you got to look biblically at everything. You know, I match everything up with the Bible, and when you talk about selling your soul, didn't Satan try to get Jesus to sell his soul? That's exactly what he did.
Exactly.
So,
hey, real quick, I want to bring this up. I want to bring this up because when Satan was tempting Jesus, he was like, "I'll give you all this if you just bow down and worship me." He didn't do it, but ironically, if you look at a lot of these celebrities and stuff, they're willing to do that. They're willing to do whatever they got to do to get all this stuff, right? So you have people in society that are willing to do that. Now, speaking for any of us on the phone line, like I said earlier, if we were approached to that aspect, if they were like, we'll just, if you do this, we'll give you all this, I don't think any of us would be willing to do that. But again, there are a lot of people.
Worldly. We're only here for a short amount of time, man. I'm not selling out for some worldly nonsense when I have paradise.
I can speak for myself. I was with them. I was already close to that level. When I was running with Wu-Tang Clan and with the Zoo Ninjas and all that stuff.
Right.
And, there was a time where we were supposed to get a deal, and I'm glad I never did it. As a group, I'm glad as a group we didn't do it. We didn't sign with Wu-Tang Records at that time they were. But, at that time I wasn't even, into this stuff. I was pretty much worldly. But I kind of knew that it was wrong to be doing what they were doing and the stuff they were rapping about and talking about was wrong. But I know, me speaking for myself, I know I wouldn't do it because that's not what I'm here for. I know that my role is to help lead people to Jesus Christ. So
thank you,
Ninja, and that's what we do in the music that we all make.
Ninja, I'm so glad you're on this call and on the show. Especially being involved with the Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, they got big, man. They were, all over the world. People know who the Wu-Tang Clan is. I mean,
to this day,
you hear a lot of talk about.
I was talking. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you hear a lot of talk about the Rain Man, and this goes beyond Eminem and all these other talking about let it rain. I know, throw the money on him, whatever. But it backs back down to this Rain Man thing. This was going. This is talk.
That's some type of spirit.
That right, and that talk that goes back to the 70s because there were rock bands talking about the Rain Man.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a spirit, man. That's another. When we listen to this music and you watch the video, there's more than just a symbolism. It's also what they're saying and what is going on to our young kids and our heads. People that listen to this music, whether it be hip hop or R&B or heavy metal or whatever, it's not godly music. So if it's not of God, it's anti-God. If it's not of Christ, it's anti-Christ. There's no middle line.
Right.
It's either for God or it's against God. So when you're listening to this stuff, the messages that they're giving you is not going to be a good message. It's going to be a satanic message that's going to bring you down. It's going to fill your mind with negative stuff. It's going to fill your mind with hatred. It's going to fill your mind with sex, violence. It's going to tell you to do drugs, tell you to touch girls and touch guys and touch each other or whatever.
Right.
It's just stuff that is not good for you. And I always go back to this. I always say this: is garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage out.
So what you listen to is what you will become. And that
I
garbage
said that earlier.
Garbage out is not just a physical thing because you can eat bad food and you're going to have bad health. So it's the same thing mentally.
GMOs.
If you have mental bad stuff mentally, you're going to become what you think. And I don't think people understand that. I mean, you can see that. Look outside your windows. Everybody look out. What's going on in this world? It's exactly what this music and what the TV is. We are emulating what we hear and what we see.
Right.
Yep. And you know what? And the proof. And you know, just to go off of what you just said there, man. You know what? You put dirt in, you're gonna get dirt out. You know, you are what you eat, basically.
Yep.
I learned real quick when I woke up to put a filter on my mind. I used to love horror flicks, and I'm gonna tell you, back in the day, if I didn't change my ways, that whole Saw movie that was out, man, I would have been all over it. I was all over the first one. But then once I woke up, I started realizing, man, I can't put these images and this junk in my brain because it's going to really affect my everyday life. So I am really careful with what I listen to, with what I watch, and with what I read. And I put a filter on my brain because I'll tell you what, once it gets in, it's not going to get out.
Yeah, check this out, man, because real quick, I want to throw this out there. Again, we do have some callers backed up here that we'll get to shortly. I want to let them know that we're going to get to them.
Yeah, we got that 515s been sitting there. We got to bring them in.
Yeah, we'll get to them shortly. But I just want to bring this up because, you know, I talked on this briefly earlier, but also all these things that are completely destructive to your soul, to your mind, to your everything, you know, just putting this stuff, you know, listening to it, just having it around you affects you. And when we talk about it, you know, we're haters. Or we're jealous, and that's not the truth. The truth is that we point these things out because, you know, it's just something. It's something that people should be aware of. But like I said, when I talk about these rappers or anything that's in pop culture that people really enjoy, that's completely destructive to them, you know, they have a problem with that, and that's something I have a problem with. Like that really bothers me. That when you point out something negative, somebody wants to call you a hater. You know, you're hating on this person. The reason I'm hating on them, not necessarily hating on them, but the reason I'm pointing this stuff out is because, you know, I care. I want people to understand what's going on. So it's just crazy. It's just like the Bible, man. Everything that's wrong is praised nowadays, and what's right is wrong. You know what I mean? That's the world.
That's Isaiah 5:20.
Right, that's the world right now.
Evil for good and good for evil. That's for darkness for light, light for darkness.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's Isaiah 5:20. But
and that's a sign of the end of the times. That is a sign of the end of the times.
It is. And getting back to what you were saying about people hating, saying that you're hating on their favorite whatever, hip hop or R&B. The thing about it is, once you start talking about somebody that they love, it's like you're attacking them. You're attacking them personally, basically.
Right, right.
So they take that to heart. And
why is that, though? Why is that?
Because they're so infatuated and they're just like
God.
idolizing this person. That's their God. That's their idol. That's
right.
their idol. And when you attack somebody's God, the same way you would attack a Muslim's God or Allah or whoever, or you attack a Mary or somebody. You know what I mean? That's the same reaction you're going to get from them.
It's sad when you think about it, though, because I deal with it all the time when I'm, you know, pointing out things. I'm like, you know, even the mainstream rappers, I'm like, there's one rapper that I'm not going to mention. He was brought up briefly earlier, but this dude cannot do any wrong to his fans. But in reality, this dude his whole aura is wrong. You know, everything about him is wrong. But even himself, he claims to be a god, right? That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's completely
destructive.
You know, so.
And think about the people when they buy their stuff and they download the music and they pay money for their stuff and they go see them in their shows. Think about the lifestyle these people are living off of other people's money. You know, you're paying for their drugs, you're paying for them to drink, you're paying for them to party, you're paying for them to have sex with women, and you're paying for their lifestyle. That's what they're doing. I don't think people get that part.
And you know what, Ninja? Check this out. Exactly what you just said right there. I actually mentioned it in my song Pawns, how the music industry will give you the best drugs that you can possibly get. They will make you an addict in every way, shape, and form. That way, if they want to do you in, let us say you committed suicide because you were a drug addict or you had an overdose. I mean, and then they can control you even more because you're all hopped up on drugs and drinking.
Yeah.
They ruin you.
This whole music thing, I mean, people need to understand, and it's hard for them to want to, you know, nobody wants to hear what we're talking about. Nobody wants to hear this truth. But we are all, every time you listen to music and stuff like that, you are being influenced. You're being trained. You're being, your views are being distorted, right? You're being conditioned to be what they want you to be. It is a form of mind control. If that's all you listen to, that's what you are going to become. They want you to think that way. They want you to think that you have to have millions of dollars and you have to have gold and jewelry and gold teeth and your pants dragging on your drawers showing. And they want you to think that that's what life is, because that's the dumbed down sheep that they want you to be, so that they can go in and do whatever that they want to you. And people's views and are shaped by movies and TV. You know what I mean? And music. Everything, the way you think and the way you act is what you watch and what you. That's why the Bible talks about keeping your mind clear and clean.
That's right. Filter. Put that filter on there.
With clean thoughts, because that's what you should be. But when you don't do that, you're going to become what you listen to.
You know what? And you know, we're sitting here talking about, like, you know, the symbolism and stuff like that. This took me completely by surprise. I mean, this band goes back to like the late 90s, but Slipknot, it's like they are like the band. They are as heavy can get. Their freaking video, The Devil and I, go check that. Or I think it's The Devil and I. Go check that video out. Listeners, I'm gonna tell you something. Put the filter on your mind. If you can't cope with seeing death, do not watch this. But I can't believe you make a video like this. That video it kind of affected me. And I'm like I said, I was used to be all into blood, guts, and gore, man. Hit me with it. I can handle it all. That video is, anyone, especially young kids watching that, they're showing suicide or death. Like, God, one of the bandmates getting mutilated by a dog. The other guy blows himself up. The one guy just starts ripping his skin off. It's like death all over the whole video. Why do you need to show that? I don't get it. I mean, you talk about implanting images and thoughts and stuff into someone's mind. I mean, hey, there's your music industry.
Hey, Renegade. Real quick. I want to bring in one of these callers because
515 been on. Get them in here.
Yeah, we'll get to them in a second, but this particular caller, I wanted to bring him in because he's a good friend of ours, and he makes music, so I definitely want to get his perspective on what we're talking about here. And I told him I would get him in tonight's show, and he's been on hold for a little bit, so I definitely want to get him in here just to see what's on his mind about this topic. Again, this is a very, very deep rabbit hole. I mean, this continues to go. Even the more I learn about it, I'm just scratching the surface. There's a lot to it, so I want to see what's on his mind.
Too. The more you learn about it, you get a little mad. Like, what are you people doing to us?
Yeah, it's something I'm, when I got into really researching and understanding things, this is something I really, it's one of my things that I take a lot of passion in, is understanding exactly how music is and what it is.
As you bring him in, I just want to just tell listeners this. Once I learned the truth about what they were doing to music and the work they did on the music, I had over 1,000 albums. I'm talking like vintage stuff you can't get a hold of anymore. Album covers that were banned. I burned everything in a fire. I got rid of it all. I have it no more in my life. Talk about putting a filter on your mind. I don't want them demons in my life anymore.
Right, and I think...
So bring them in.
I think actually the other number, they kind of dropped off here. So, yeah, let's get... Matthew in here and see what's on his mind here tonight, because he's been on hold for a while. What's up, my brother?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Mattrix, you are loud and clear.
Yo, first off, I don't mind being on hold whatsoever, because me and my girl were just listening to you guys and then just scrolling. You guys are absolutely on always. It's fucking incredible listening to other people that actually pay attention to these things and are well spoken too, and it gives me hope for mankind. That there's people out there.
We're trying, brother. We're trying.
Well, thank
you. No doubt, man.
So what's going on, man? What do you? I know me and you were talking about doing a collab here, and
Absolutely.
how do you view the music industry? Out of all you heard, out of all you've seen, I mean, you're involved in it. You speak truth in your music. Like, what do you take from it?
Like I heard you guys talking before about contracts. Like I told Dennis recently, I would piss on a fucking major record deal.
Hey, do me a favor real quick, brother. Don't drop no F-bombs.
Well, sorry. I didn't know. I really, it's not worth selling out your soul, whether it's figuratively or actually spirituality. It doesn't matter, man. Money isn't worth anything to me. It really is not. And I would rather live in my little apartment the way I live now than be one of these pop stars, because that's what rappers are nowadays, is pop stars. And in their mansions with 10 cars and stuff. I don't need all that. I'm not a very worldly person at all. I'm not materialistic at all. The only reason I even have any money is because it's the system I'm forced to live in by the people who control the world. And if I wasn't forced to live this way, I would. And recently we have been growing our own food a little bit. That's something I want to get into full time when I get more property, mend my own clothing, things like that. I don't want to be involved in this system. Now, money and contracts in the industry, like you guys were saying before, it's people who will be shitty or be bad people in order to make money, or some of them probably even get a kick out of pushing the New World Order's agenda. I'm steering the world in a certain direction. I'm so powerful, I'm a god, it's really a real thing, and people got to understand that it's not a fantasy, like it's not a quote-unquote conspiracy. I mean, it is a conspiracy, but it's a factual, true conspiracy that's happening. And who's the victim? All of us, but right now, in the immediate future, is the young people, man. It's their minds.
Yep.
I listened to a Satanist, I forget his name, speak, and he said that's why they use music. And he said it's not just the lyrics. He said it's beyond just lyrics, too. He said it's the frequency, too. A lot of frequency and things like that are built into the music.
Are you Mattrix? You talking about Nicholas Schreck? That is Anton LaVey's son. It sounds like you might be quoting some of his what he's been talking. How they're using music to influence not only the media but the minds of the people.
Absolutely, and people talk about propaganda. This is like it's kind of deeper than propaganda with the music. It's conditioning, as you know. It's social conditioning. Just like
social engineering, mind control, it's all of that.
Absolutely, It really is. It really is. It's a real thing. And look at in the city, every small city in America, predominantly, the black culture, the poor culture, the people in poverty are out being gangsters and shooting themselves, and it's all in their favorite rapper's music. Okay,
it's a lifestyle.
And you think that's on accident? That's not on accident. You want to talk about influencing a culture or influencing young minds. I mean, there is no greater power in the entire world right now than music, mainstream music. That right now, not all teens or kids watch the news, but they all have albums, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And, they got to attack from many different angles to get everyone in the population. And beyond that, I know 40, 50-year-olds who buy Jay-Z records. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not just a group of people. It's everyone. It affects everyone. And this is a fight for our life, man. And it's really scary to me when I see. I don't watch TV. Like I don't have cable. I've had it in the past.
Good, man. Good for you.
Yeah, and recently I changed my lifestyle. I don't drink soda at all anymore. I drink a gallon of water a day. I've been losing weight like crazy, because I'm realizing I'm living this way, and it's bringing me to an early grave, which is what these people want from you. They want a short life.
Yep.
They want a short life. You work your whole life, but they don't want you to live long, because the longer somebody lives, the more they can start to realize things and wake their mind up, and it's really just incredible.
Well, they want to call the earth. I mean, it's been written on the Georgia Guidestones. They want to take us out. These people feel that, as we played, the clip earlier, all these scumbags, these elites. I hate the term elite because they're not elite in any way, shape, or form. They are criminals. They're criminals on a higher platform, but they're all talking about their New World Order and how good it is and blah, blah, blah. But, the Georgia Guidestones were written, and they were put there. There's a lot of people that hate them. I understand that. So do I. But, as one of my really good friends, an old-timer, told me, hey, they were put there as a warning. And, we need to do something about that. Start warning people. And that's what we all do. That's what I do with my music. That's what Ninja Scroll does. That's what Mattrix does. There's a lot of us out here that are putting, our blood, sweat, and tears into music. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something, listeners. Ain't not one of us going to get sold out. We will never sell out because we are just that tight with humanity. We see what's going on. You know, Pepsi Cola wants you to be their sponsor. They're offering you $2 million. Well, you know what? I'd rather be broke and living in a cardboard box and take money from Pepsi Cola any day of the week.
Let me tell you something. All right, my life right now, okay, I make about $20,000 a year, okay, and I live in New York State. Do you understand how poor I am? Okay.
Yeah, they jack their prices up, man. They take the money, they just keep taking it from you and taking it from you.
And you know what? I have a better life, a more fulfilling life, a more honorable life, a happier life than any millionaire in the music business, than any.
Right.
I stand by. You know, my simple, humble little life is better than any of these guys living in mansions, surrounded by models or whatever they want. I have a beautiful girlfriend.
That's a fake life they're living. That's a fake life. You're living a real life. We're all living a real life. They're living a fake life because guess what? At any time, because they've consented to it, that can all be taken away. They'll be blamed as being crazy, then they'll be freaking shot and killed, and they'll be blamed. They'll blame it on an overdose or a suicide.
What do you guys think of Shia LaBeouf?
Let me just jump in real quick. Let me just jump in real quick about what you were saying about being poor and how you have a great life. And I agree with that 100%, man. What you're saying is dead on. I was talking to a young guy at my job about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about I was witnessing to him about Jesus, you know, and he was saying he just wants to be successful and he wants to get, you know, houses and blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm like, well, what's successful to you? He said, having millions of dollars, that's successful. I said, so your dad's not successful then? And he said, well, why you say that? I said, because your dad don't have millions of dollars. He works with me. I guess he's not successful. So I was explaining to him that success to the world is millions of dollars. But what is success to you? And like you were saying, Matt, success to me is I have a roof over my head, my kids are fed, we have clothes, gas, water, and electric. We have everything we need. So I'm successful. I don't have to have millions of dollars to be successful. I have to have everything I need to be successful because there's people out there that don't have none. They don't even have that.
And you know what that makes you? You know what? You can have the successful, and then you have your warriors that fight with everything that they got, with every fiber of that they got in their body to provide. Not only are you successful, Ninja, you're a provider. That's how we roll.
That's to us. That is success. We are doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're providing for our families, and we have everything that we need to live. I'm not going to go by the world standards of success because I'm not worldly. I'm not of this world.
You know what? I agree with you, Ninja. That's incredible that you said that to that kid, man. Maybe you help open his eyes a little bit. And you know what? His father is successful, and my father is working class too, and he's 62, and he's still working, even though he retired from his county job. You know, but you know what? There's a famous quote that says, "Wealth is not of the pocket, but it's of the mind and heart." You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The greatest honor one human being can have is to love. Man, love is the greatest honor, and taking care of your kids and everything like that—that's love, man. That's bringing the next generation up and continuing the cycle of humanity, man. And as long as there's people like you guys all having kids, then I have a little bit of hope for this world, man, because you're passing the same ideologies onto your children, and that's huge right there. That's what they don't want. That's
exactly.
That's why they are public schools. That's why these schools are doing what they're doing to our kids.
Yep.
They're,
to counteract us.
Our kids with all this, to go against what we're teaching. And they're telling our kids in school that different things that we're telling them. And my kids come home and I'm like, what they say? You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, this is what it is. And I'm showing them and I'm teaching. I have to deprogram my kids every day they come home from school.
That's
because
right.
I don't want them falling into that trap. But that's what these schools are just indoctrination settings. Just set up there to get our kids to buy into this whole new world order system and to become worker bees. Just go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, and just be that same consistent thing over and over again and be a slave. That's exactly what they're doing in school.
We are slaves. And think
That's
of
called the Prussian.
The Rockefellers founded the Board of Education. All right, it was the first federal when they federalized all the schools, right? And they even said, a direct quote is, "We want a nation of workers, not thinkers." Okay, they are not raising up a nation of intellectuals. They are raising, like you said, worker bees, man. We have enough to add on our add and subtract a little bit to be able to take people's change at McDonald's. That's what the training is for.
Well, that's right. That's the hive mentality. That's the hive mentality.
That is right out of real quick. That is right out of the school book of the Prussian system. That's what that's called, the Prussian system. That's what they're using to create a nation of worker bees.
Renegade, I gotta jump out of here for about 10 minutes. I gotta take care of something. But I definitely want to get this other caller in before we run out of time here tonight. So if you don't mind, I'll bring him in, and I'll join you guys in a few minutes. I got to jump out of here for a minute. So
sure.
Yeah, let's bring him in. Again, another good friend of mine. Glad I met him on Facebook. Outstanding Christian individual, putting in a lot of work for the Lord. So let's get him in here and get his thoughts on this, and I will join you guys in a few minutes. I'll be right back. So let's get him in here. Joshua.
How's it going, guys?
The resistance rising.
That's me, man. It's good to hear from you guys, man. Sounds like a pretty good show tonight. I wanted to call in and talk about the whole music industry deal. I want to quote something real quick out of Ezekiel 28, chapter 13, going to verse 13. It says, "Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God." So there's no question who this is talking about. It says, "Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God, and every precious stone." And it gets down here to the bottom, and it says, "The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was created in thee, that the day thou wast created." Mm-hmm. I'm not going to try to be dogmatic about any of this, but just about anybody will tell you, if you look at this cherub, when Lucifer was created, he had built-in musical instruments, technically.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes, he did.
It says, and it says here, starting in verse 14, it says, "Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth." It says, you walked up and down in the midst of stones of fire of the holy mountain of God. So it's been insinuated that before he fell, Lucifer not only led worship and music in heaven, but he literally covered the throne of God. That's how much power this angel wielded. And
you're absolutely right.
And when we talk about the music industry itself and how influencing it is on the masses, we know if we go to 2 Corinthians 4:4 that it refers to Satan, little g, as the god of this world.
God of this world.
Yep. He is. He's the ruler of darkness.
I just did a song about that, and the hook. I just want to say the hook because it kind of ties right in what you're saying. The hook is, "I'm the God of this world. Take a look and you'll see evidence of my handiwork, traces of me." That's
what is that song? What is that song?
That's it, guys.
I don't know. I'll send it to you. I'll try to send it to you. But yeah, that's exactly what you were saying. He's the God of this world, and if you just look at what's happening in this world, it's not godly stuff happening out here. This is Satan. This is all his handiwork.
Yeah, and some people call them the Illuminati, or I call them the synagogue of Satan, the shadow government. They're all the same, the entity that we're talking about here. And if you look at the influence they've got over the music industry, music stirs the soul. And if we know that there's music in heaven, music is a spiritual element. We can try to make it physical, but it's mathematical, it's spiritual. So when you take something as strong and spiritual as music, and then you put the devil in control of it in this world, that can have a devastating effect on millions of people, and it has. It has influenced people. Because when you hear a certain song or a song speaks out to you, I think me and Dennis were talking, I guess it was yesterday on Facebook, we were making fun of some of the stupid songs that people go crazy over. It's like they become almost like following of these songs. And it's not the words that people, it's not the words that the people care about. It's the music, it's the beat, it's the energy from it. And it's on a spiritual level. And these people get so caught up in it that then...
I'm glad you said that about the beat. There's a group called Deliverance. They're talking about the first 3 chapters of Romans and how it's the beat that, it really calls demons in. Every time I do a song, I always pray over it. I do not want to call up any form of negative spiritual aspects on my music. you know, we all, you know, there's three of us here, and myself, Renegade Smith, Ninja Scroll, and Mattrix that are involved in music. And we know music is a weapon. Joshua, you mentioned about the cherub, you know, Lucifer, being made of musical instruments. That's kind of, you know, totally not kind of. It's truth. You know, I was listening to a testimony of a woman over in Africa, and she was saying how she saw the spirit, and there's this beautiful, like, angelic spirit, and he had a coat on, and when he opened up his coat, he was made of instruments of music. She said she saw Lucifer.
I read that. I actually read that now that you mentioned that. I heard that somewhere, because that rings a huge bell in my brain. And I want to mention something to any listeners too that are sitting here listening to talk about God and reciting things from the Bible and stuff. Spirituality, whether you are a Christian or not, spirituality is important and it affects your life. That's what people don't understand. Like, you know, people, like, let's say these people who worship Satan. Well, let's say for a second God or Satan isn't real. I believe in God, but let's say you don't. Okay, these people represent evil. Okay, if they're, you know, I know there's a lot of 666 and upside down crosses and all types of music nowadays, and like some of my friends and stuff will like that, but they're not bad people. But what you're letting into your life is bad, and that's what I try to tell them. You know, Satanism, whether you believe in it or not, is dangerous. It's very dangerous, because what you're saying. Dangerous. Because think about what Satan is. He's a great deceptor. He's a liar. He's a killer. He's everything evil. He wants children to die. You know, this is the worst possible thing you can conceive. And now, you know, and these people out here are just paying homage to Satan like it's just no big deal. And that's why when any of my friends post any of that, I got almost 4,000 friends on Facebook. I see all types of posts. And I always comment on. I'm not afraid to comment on it, even if it's a friend. I'll say, listen, man, you know, I don't like that symbol. That shit is no good. It's representing something that is evil. And now for me and people that believe in God and believe in the devil, it's something even deeper, because you're like, wow, man, like you know, this is a real thing. You don't understand, like demons are conjured into music and stuff. And let me mention this quick about the music industry. I actually heard from a very top level guy. I forget his name. I got to look it up. I have it all notes written down. This guy worked in the music industry for a very, very long time. And he said the masters for each record, like, doesn't matter if it's hip hop, rock, the masters of these records are brought into a room, and demons or dark energies are conjured onto these masters. And then the masters, that's where all the millions of CDs get pressed off of the master. So you know, it's in a spiritual sense, they're spreading this bad energy or this demonic energy or satanic energy to every single record that they press off the master. Now, like I said, if it's true, whether you believe in God or not, is that right for them to be putting demonic stuff, conjuring, doing any rituals over the master of popular records? That's scary. That's scary stuff, you know. And
the guy, you know, the guy you're talking about is John Todd Collins.
Whether you believe in God or not, they believe in something.
That's
right.
Absolutely right.
That's what's scary about it.
Hey, Mattrix, I have something lined up here, guys. We are beyond the top of the hour, and I want to play this. Mattrix, you just mentioned about them taking the master reel, which is the original copy, and putting it into a pentagram on the floor when they bring in a council of witches and actually pray incantations over that master album, so that every CD, every wave of that song that gets released, a demon is attached to it. My song Pawns, I have that audio in the beginning of it. But I want to play this. Let's take a quick break here. I'm going to play exactly what Mattrix was just talking about. So, hey, guys, if you want, mute your phones. We have 6 minutes to listen to this guy named John Todd Collins talk. If you want to look into the Collins family, they are ultra satanic. There was a show called Dark Shadows that was out in the late 60s, early 70s, and a remake of it with Johnny Depp. It is about the Collins family. This man was a part of it. He became a Christian, ran away, and guess what happened to him when he exposed truth? The man was murdered. So what Mattrix was just talking about, I want to give all you listeners a little taste of the music industry. So Here's 6 minutes worth, guys. Just mute your phones real quick, and when this is done, we're going to come back. Uh-oh. Hold on.
I sit on a council of 13 people that take orders only from the Rothschild Tribunal in London, which they claim they take their orders directly from Lucifer.
I was the manager of Zodiac Productions, which Zodiac Productions, its name's been changed since then. I'm not even sure what they call it now, but it's the largest music conglomerate in the world. It owns RCA Records, Columbia Records, Motown Records, owns almost all the concert booking agencies in the United States. And that's not even the name of the company that owns it. The name of the company that owns it is Brenner Enterprises, and Brenner Enterprises is owned by Chase Manhattan. Chase Manhattan's owned by Standard Oil, and Standard Oil is owned by the Lords of London. You can track it on back. You kind of get the idea after a while. But I was the managing president of Zodiac Productions. It's one of my jobs as being one of these 13 people. Thus, I got to know many of the people who produce music and sing the music and play the music that you play. Now, one of the closest friends that I got during that time that I obtained was a man named David Crosby. Crosby, Still, Nash & Young. I saw David the day before Christmas last year, talked with him. I got him away from this witch that he had with him. He told her to go shopping. We were in West Hollywood, and I was witnessing around to people I knew. We went off in this store, and we started talking. I said, David, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left. I said, now I'll have to explain some of this when I'm done, because you're not going to understand it all unless you know something about music. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? He said, come on, Lance, you know what the reason is. I said, please, David, I don't want to guess. Tell me what the main reason is. He says, the same as when you were in, so that we can place spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. I'll explain what that means in a minute. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He says, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music. I said, thank you. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on, and it's placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master's cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive offices. And it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. As I tell many Christian parents, you can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there. If that's too hard for you to believe, I'm sorry. That's why they do it. Now listen to me. This is why rock music's addicting. Have you ever seen kids that got rid of their music? They go around like this. They can't wait to find a rock station somewhere, and they sneak off just like getting a cigarette or a fix, because it's addicting. That's why they can't give it up. The rest of the conversation was this. You can't cast a spell on a Christian, but you can get a Christian to cast a spell on themselves. If you give the permission for the spell to work, being a Christian won't block it. And rock music is not just a song. It is supernatural music that which is carefully designed by their spirit guides or familiar spirits in the form of spells. Now, although the devil's music's power is the music and God's music is the words, much of the songs are written in what we call witch language. To give you kind of an idea, many of you talk on a CB, unless you know what a smoky is, and a 10-4, and a front door and back door and rocking chair and these type of things, you don't know what you're talking about. Same with witches. When you're in the first and second level, you have to learn over 2,000 words that said by anybody else means something totally different than when you say them. Elton John has said he's never written a song or sung a song that wasn't in witch language. Now I want to show you something. See how many kids in here will be honest and adults. How many remember and have heard at least several times a song called Hotel California? Somebody tell me what it meant. Quickly, somebody tell me what it meant. Huh? That's pretty close. But from the words, What did it mean? Well, that's more of a guess. See, most people can't tell you. That's why when people do drugs and they listen to songs in which language, they get some of the meaning. But most of the time, they can't tell you. Stop and think how many songs are out there that you really like, and you don't have any idea what the person was talking about. Beyond the Yellow Brick Road? How about The Destroyer by Kiss? Can anybody tell me what it's about? Kiss said in it, kids, kill your parents. They're talking about Helter Skelter. Beatles sung Helter Skelter in which language? Nobody knew what it meant. Manson did because he belongs to the process. Helter Skelter is a several thousand-year-old word. Most of the music is either about Helter Skelter or a place called the Night Winds, which is what Hotel California is about, and different doctrines of witchcraft. You listen to them, your parents let you listen to them, and they have no idea. Kiss openly bragged how they were gaining control of people through their music because the people played their music. They told how they didn't form their own group. Their church, because they were ordained ministers of the Satanist church, placed them together. And that's how most of the music is done. David Crosby, when him and Crosby, Still, Nash & Young produced the record Two-Way Street, they ordered the Principality of Medici to order Demons of Rebellion to go into the record, and everybody that heard it would be rebellious against law and order and government. And it was one of the reasons for the great upheaval in the 60s was that one album, and they take open credit for it.
I have personally talked with Johnny Todd on the basis of Jack Chick's recommendation, having known Johnny Todd.
So on that note, let's listen to what Dave Chappelle has to say about the Illuminati in Hollywood and the music industry.
You know, when we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke.
He's talking
almost
about
died.
Martin Lawrence.
And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh, my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us. But now it's not necessary for us to store up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little more.
You see where these people are coming from? They are taking people, giving them millions of dollars, and they're raising them up on levels where the average people are like, they become idolized. This ain't no good because, as you just heard Kat say, Dave Chappelle nor him will never do this. That's why they got stung by hornets. That's why Dave Chappelle had to leave for a while. Then you hear John Todd Collins. Check out the Collins family, the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, the satanic bloodlines, the royal bloodlines, the satanic royal bloodlines of this earth. These people, he mentioned about Standard Oil, owned by Rockefeller. And he also mentioned about Lords of London and the Rothschild Tribunal. These people own the Federal Reserve. They make the fake money that makes everything go round, right? You guys, listeners, please, you need to stand back for 1 second and challenge your thinking on what you think is real, what isn't, and what, is, beyond your realm that, that's conspiracy. No, this stuff is very real. These people are as evil can be. They are using music, movies, and everything else as a weapon to strengthen their agenda for a one-world government. They want a one-world government. With that, they want a one-world military. We have the UN. You heard that audio clip earlier in the beginning of this where they were talking about George Bush stating the UN founders. Well, who were those founders of the UN? David Rockefeller, Zbigniew Brzezinski, they call him Z-Big, Henry Kissinger, these criminals that love to create war with other countries and blame them for something that doesn't even exist, weapons of mass destruction. We are dealing with a bunch of sociopaths, a bunch of satanic scumbags that want to rule over you. That's what the New World Order is. There's no utopia in that. You know, I have this vision of the future. It's Mad Max meets the Terminator. It is going to be insane with the transhumanism going on, with the vaccines that are going to poison you and chip you at the same time. Who knows what the music's going to be talking about then. But this is all one big thing that they're using to get over on you.
It is. And
about
you know,
time you stand up.
It is that time, man. And for people who want to look more into this, I would say look up the term technocracy. Technocracy. You know, this is a system that they are implementing right now, and it goes hand in hand with the one world government, everything else. It's all part of the same system. And now these people, they don't want us to believe in anything, first of all, because if you believe in anything, whether you're Muslim, Christian, or you just believe in you have for humanity. Let's say you believe in humanity. That's dangerous for these people who want to control every aspect of humanity, and it is a dangerous thing, man, because all it takes is one or two people, ideas to change a whole lot of things in the world. And yeah, it's crazy it hasn't happened yet. There is a pretty big movement of people who are awake. The masses, the majority of the masses, are still blind, and they love being blind. But I still believe that there is some hope. We can never give up hope, man. But we gotta understand how important our role in this is, because no hero is just gonna appear and make all this stop. It's up to us to make it stop.
Well, they have their hero. So you mentioned about all this, and I was saying earlier, they want a one-world government. They want a one-world military. I mentioned the UN. They want a one-world currency. Even the Vatican's talking about this. And they want a one-world religion. See, they want to slam every religion and drive it into the ground because they want their Luciferian, rooted religion to be the religion. So every other religion will be obsolete, and they cause wars and this and that and the other thing and more. Hey, bring the Christians, let's chop their heads off. I mean, it's going on right now, and these people are behind it. Ninja, you see this going on. You speak about it in your music.
Yeah, it's definitely going on. It's not just with going after Christians. The way they're doing it that way. Another way they're doing it is with the homosexual thing.
Yeah.
They're that whole agenda is about that. It's it's being tolerant, and if you don't accept what they tell you, then you hate everybody. You're filled with hate, and you got to go. Barbara Marx Hubbard talked about that stuff, about getting rid of Christians. Look at what she says about it. This is something that's serious. They definitely have to get rid of us because we're the ones that aren't going to fall for the New World Order system.
Exactly.
Whether it be
we ain't going for it either.
One world government, whether we go for the one world religion, the currency, we're not going to fall for that because we know what the Bible says about it. It's the ones that don't read the Bible and that aren't saved and study what's going on that are going to fall for it.
And also, on that note right there, Ninja, reading the Bible is one thing, but when you actually pray and ask for knowledge and for guidance,
that's right.
You kind of get granted that.
Yep.
There is a creator, and he does see into your heart, and he sees when you're really, crying out for help, or when you're really seeking that knowledge. He blesses you with it. That me personally, I've experienced it. And here I am in the music realm, just like with you and just like with Mattrix. And, like I said earlier, I pray over my music before I do it. I don't want to lead people in the wrong way. I want to use, just as both of you do, I want to use my music as a weapon of truth. And we have a whole slew of people that are basically are kind of like an enemy source. Not that they're enemies, because they're another human being, but what they're doing is going against what we're doing. So it's like this fight is constantly going on, And you know what? They make their millions. I don't need millions. I do a song to wake people up, and if I have people message me or, I see a couple likes or whatever, or shares, man, that is I'm happy on that. I don't need money. I don't need the money to gratify me. The fact that my music might impact somebody and wake them up and put them on a mission, that's all I need. I don't need millions.
Your music is dope, AJ, and Ninja, you guys are great musicians, and
so is yours, man.
Thank you, man. My last song that I released was that the one Against All the Wars, and I released it on Memorial Day. And as you know, like my friend Zach helped me out, and we're pushing 10,000 views on it, and it's really not bad. Like people are hungry for truth, and I had veterans of
Toy
these
Soldier,
wars.
Right?
Yeah, Toy Soldier. I did a Toy Soldier remake. Only I exposed all the unjust wars over it, and it was very appropriate. And I had veterans and people like that hitting me up saying they're crying. It touched them so deep, and how they realized they've been used. Yeah, and one guy said his father died in a war, and he was like, man, you're saying to me more than I've ever been touched before. And it's like music can be a counter weapon to all this that's going on, and that's why we do what we do, is because we are using it as a counter weapon to try to wake up people through music, because music can be a very positive thing. And even metal and more heavy music like metal and stuff, you're not my only friend, AJ, that does music like that. And, it can be very uplifting, because music is a beautiful thing. And just like anything in the world, just like me and my friend were just discussing the Bible, like the Bible could be used for people that claim they believe in God and stuff can be evil too. It
already is. It's already used like that. You get a lot of false prophets that take scripture and twist it form, to fit what they want to say. So I ain't gonna interrupt you, but you're right.
Yeah, they put that twist
right.
on it. Hey guys, we got a 361 caller. I want to bring them in real quick. We are getting 15 minutes left in the show. 361, hey, you're live on the New Element.
Hi there, Renegade.
Hey, Michelle. How are you?
It is Michelle. I'm good.
So,
hello everyone. I just wanted to drop into the show. I definitely enjoyed it. I tuned in during the last hour, and I know that you guys were touching a lot on Satanism and rock, and I didn't catch the last hour, but I think Dennis will definitely agree with this. And they
she just dropped. Dang it.
That sucks. She was about to get into some knowledge too, man.
Yeah, you know what? She's actually co-hosted shows with me a year ago. We did a great show in the Bohemian Grove, and she I kind of forced her into learning about it. But she's awesome. She is so anti-vaccine, and hey, that's another thing that comes with what we're talking about. The big pharma industry, Mattrix. I know you're hugely against that. Ninja, same with you, and same with me. Pharmaceutical itself means sorcery. I mean, we're dealing with sex magic that they're doing on us, and through the music and all. And you take a lot of these musicians, whatever, and here she is. So she's back. Hold on. Here we go.
Sorry about that, guys.
You're back.
Hung up the phone.
Yeah, I was just talking about how you've joined me on shows in the past. The Bohemian Grove show was an awesome one, and how you're totally anti-big pharma, anti-vaccine, and that ties in with the music industry too. These are street drugs. The OxyContins and all this other stuff these people are doing.
Oh yeah, it's all connected, and I don't know when I cut off a little while ago, but I've been listening the last hour. I didn't hear the previous hour, and I know that you guys were touching on Satanism and Illuminati and rock and in metal. There's definitely a huge influence in hip hop and
that's what we were talking
mainstream
about.
rap, the crap, crap rap, as Dennis would call it. And you have Jay-Z and Kanye West and Beyonce and all these people, using actual Illuminati symbols and marketing them, and people not shying away from it, and they're acknowledging, oh yeah, this is Illuminati. We're going to eat it up with a spoon and be excited about it. And it just blows my mind.
It's dinner table talk, as you said. Eat it up with a spoon. It's becoming the norm for people. There's no more secret societies. They are all out in the open. I mean, if you look at the Illuminati, who are they now? The Bilderberg Group, the CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, and the Trilateral Commission.
Absolutely.
What's that?
I said Trilateral Commission, right as you said it, and that's what I brought up.
There you go.
That's when I brought up technocracy before, man. That's a term that you all should, if you haven't already looked up. Trilateral Commission has been in the presidency and the executive office all the way down for decades, man. And I know that I think Obama and Biden, they aren't Trilateral Commission members, but everyone around them is. And Bush was, a lot of, for decades, every president and vice president or one or the other has been a direct member of the Trilateral Commission. And it's a scary thing, these people, these are the same people making the decisions for everything we're talking about. All this can be traced back to the same exact people at the top. And that's what's really scary about it, is they do and want to control every aspect of society, every aspect of your daily life, what you eat, what you think, what you believe in, how your children are raised. You don't even have rights to your own children anymore if the state deems you unfit to take care of them. And that's a scary thing. I've seen good friends lose their kids to CPS just because they got popped on them and they failed the drug test for marijuana or some bullshit like that. Excuse my language.
And pretty soon it's going to be homeschooling. They're going to come out because you're homeschooling them.
Oh yeah,
right.
You really have to. I'm sorry for interrupting, guys. You really have to cover your butt with this, and I know this firsthand. The way I got involved in the movement is my son's vaccine injured, and so I woke up. That's how I woke up, and even in starting the new school year, I'm reminded of the fact that I have to go get forms to be able to make my own choices for my child's health. And I know how much Renegade
I am so against that. The whole opt out. No, you should have to opt in to get poisoned. And, Michelle, by the way, you're going to be joining me on a show I'm doing about vaccines very shortly. I'm going to be bringing in a freaking hard hitter force of people. I'm trying to get Dr. Tenpenny. If anyone's great friends with her, please send her my way.
Dr. Tenpenny is awesome. You should get Dr. Hooker. And have you talked about the CDC cover-up yet?
No, I have not. I'm waiting for the show with the whistleblower. Yeah, there's a big one. And the doctor that sued under the, the Information Act over in the UK, he sued and got all this these documentations from Big Pharma, basically proving that they know their stuff is junk and it's killing people and poisoning people and has no effect. So that is another show coming up. You are going to be a part of it.
All of this ties in too. I'm sure people are wondering, well, what are vaccines? What do Big Pharma? What does GMOs? What does Monsanto? What does any of this have to do with music? All of this ties in because we have these same BS celebrities pushing these vaccines. I mean, people that have no business, they're being bought out. Now, in the same right, there are people that are awake and speaking their mind, but the celebrities are being used to push Big Pharma, Monsanto, saying GMOs are safe. No, they're great. Go ahead. Get 10,000 vaccines in your kid. You'll be fine and healthy.
Let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you guys something. I have a friend. Her name is Jen, and she has 2 kids. And her first son got the vaccines. I think it was the MMP or something like that. And
MMR?
He
MMR.
He got a really bad case of measles from the vaccine, and she said it was the scariest week of her life, right? And now she has another child, and this child has no vaccines whatsoever. She goes to a holistic doctor, with like a natural physician, and they offer the option: do you want to vaccinate your kid? But if you say no, they're not like, oh, your kid's gonna die, or he's gonna be a carrier and bring everyone's gonna get sick. I read a study that said kids who get vaccines actually contract disease for like 6 weeks or something after they get the vaccines, and a lot of people. Right, and have you heard of herd immunity? They say, a certain percentage of people in the population have to be vaccinated, or we're all at risk. Now, that to me is crazy, and personally, I would rather risk it, and I don't have kids yet, but when I do, me and my girlfriend, we've been together 8 years, we're very prominent in not getting them any vaccines whatsoever. So, we're definitely heading that direction. I've read some scary stuff. I've seen a video. One of the guys who developed the very first, I think it was the MMR, he actually said that there was a risk for the big C, he called it. I saw the video, and big C, what he's saying is cancer. And they know all this stuff from the very beginning. When they manufacture these drugs, they know the consequences. They're not
all
stupid.
All you have to do is read the insert. These things are literally listed in the side effects. However, doctors will not give them to you willingly. They will look at you like you're crazy if you ask for the insert.
And they want to make you feel like you're crazy.
I've had them before.
Ninja, you have.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry too. Ninja has a song called Drug Kingpins, right?
Legal drug kingpins.
Legal drug kingpins. For Michelle, he slams Big Pharma. I love it.
So
Mattrix,
I love the name of it.
Yeah, Mattrix, do you have a song against Big Pharma?
Nothing that's released right now, but I trust me, I write about it. I have a few lines injecting babies with poison, so-called vaccinations, globalization, this is the New World Order nation. I got a lot of stuff about this, and see my lyrics, even in a song that's not about something in particular, if you dig through the lyrics, you'll hear me slam vaccines, you'll hear me slam Big Pharma, these things are very scary, man. They're drugs. They are pushed on you, and to me, I feel like these vaccines probably shorten lives. If you read stories, there's coalitions of parents who have lost their children to vaccines. They get vaccines, and all of a sudden they're foaming at the mouth. All of a sudden they have hives as big as silver dollars. All of a sudden they're having hallucinations.
They have convulsions and stuff. Yeah.
Well, if I can share with you guys, like I said, my son is vaccine injured. He became medically injured after his second dose of DTaP. He stopped developing normally at about 8 months. He didn't say his first word until he was 4. He was diagnosed as being severely autistic and mentally retarded, also known as intellectual disability. He has a plethora of diagnoses, and I was actually I was much more active in the radio community about 8 months ago, and that is actually when my son started to get more ill, and we discovered that my son actually had epilepsy. He still has epilepsy. He had such severe epilepsy that he has seizures every 10 seconds of his life, nonstop. He has 80,000 seizures a day. My child has 80,000 absent seizures a day, and I had no idea because he would just stare off. So because of Big Pharma, because of I'm so sorry, because of pertussis vaccination, my child now has a traumatic brain injury. And so
and
Big Pharma has...
And that's... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, your child does not deserve that, and I don't want you to feel any guilt because it's not your fault. We are brought into this system, and this is what's told will save our kids' lives. Okay, they're this will save your kid's life. You did not do anything wrong, and I'm very sorry for your son. That is not fair to him. He didn't have a choice, and Big Pharma did it to him. I just want to let you know that you're a strong person. Your son's a strong person, and I really, God bless you both. I hope you both keep on fighting.
And that's the thing right there. We're talking about music and all, but we're starting to see people step out more and more. I mean, you got Rob Schneider. He's big with Adam Sandler and all. Speaking just on the warpath against Big Pharma. You got now Jim Carrey out there on the warpath against Big Pharma because this whole SB 277. Here's my thing. I know I have a song against Big Pharma. It's called Stronger Than Hate. And I also have another song where I mention it along with GMOs. It's called Nation of Sheeple. And Ninja, you got one. Mattrix, I know you mentioned it, some of the stuff too in your music. See, we're using our music to wake people up. My thing is, all these mainstream artists out there, what are they doing? They're getting paid off by Big Pharma to shut their freaking mouths. They're not speaking out about this.
They're getting paid to corrupt minds. That's what they're
exactly.
Let me chime in real quick if I could on the vaccine deal.
Go ahead, my man. Go ahead.
This is Josh. Your call dropped earlier. One thing I want to say is me and my wife have been together going on 9 years now. When we first started dating, she was working for a veterinary clinic here in town, and we, for there's like 5 years she worked there, vet tech and assistant before she went on to school to teach, and then, which that's a whole other can of worms with the teaching, and I'll get into that another time. But like the whole thing, he told us, this guy went to college at Oklahoma State University, and mammals and humans are basically the same as far as vaccines and stuff. And we were talking one time, and people were coming in there just every day just getting this vaccine, the canine influenza, the parvo, the rabies, you name it. They were getting all these vaccinations and stuff. And we're talking $200-300 a pop for all these vaccines. We were talking about it one day, and he was like, I'm just going to tell you the truth. None of these vaccines are needed for these animals. And I just kind of looked at him. I'm like, and this is before I was even awake. And I was like, what do you mean they're not needed? He said, I'm telling you, none of these vaccinations for these dogs or cats are needed. He said, it's garbage. He said, when I went to Oklahoma State University, he said the representatives from Merck, GlaxoSmithKline, Pfizer, and all these other pharmaceutical giants that are making these vaccines would come in, and they were putting millions of dollars in the universities to promote these vaccinations. And they've even got lobbyists with politicians and stuff to get laws passed.
Exactly.
Where dogs have to have where a dog is mandated to have certain vaccinations.
Yes.
And they told, and like he said, I promise you, he said 5 of the 6 vaccinations I give in here daily are absolutely unnecessary. They serve no purpose whatsoever. But we are told, and he'll even admit, they send him bonus checks. He gets opportunities to go on vacations for pushing this stuff.
That's what it comes down to is the money. These lobbyists, you said it, these lobbyists. The Big Pharma has billions, if not trillions of dollars where they're paying off these politicians to turn a blind eye to pass. Basically, what they're doing is forcing this crap on us. And people
the thing that people have to understand is what we're talking about is real. And people have to understand that they are companies. They are drug companies. Companies are in the business to make money, not to. If they weren't, that's why they're there. They're there to make money, and they're making money off of us being sick.
Hey Ninja, real quick, let me jump in here. Everybody listening right now, you're listening to Infinite Source Broadcast Network. The show is The New Element. If you want to continue listening, we're going to go into a little bit of overtime here. You need to call in 347-850-8229. I'll say it one more time. 347-850-8229. If you do not call in to listen over your phone, you will be caught. And if you're listening, press 1. Press 1 and you can join the show. So on that note, and we'll thank all my callers, everybody, Ninja Scroll, Michelle, Mattrix, Dennis Ford, where are you, Mr. Sasquatch? Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the show. There will be more to come about the music industry. So on that note, Ninja, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I also wanted to say, as far as like Michelle, when you were talking about how this is all tied into artists and music, and I was watching. I happened to catch a TV show. What was it? I think it was Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, or whatever that is, and they were talking about vaccines, and one kid had got another kid sick, and the kid died because the kid wasn't vaccinated, and he got another kid, sick, and she died. The kid died, but the whole thing was just social engineering. They're trying to force people. They're trying to make you think that you need to get these vaccines, and this is a TV show. So that, like you're saying, musicians are all backing it. There's musicians backing it. There's people like Bill Gates backing it, and his wife, and he talks about using vaccines to bring the population down. But these are major people that are involved in this. So it's not like you said. It's musicians involved in it. There's actors and all kinds of people involved in this.
You know what I find interesting? You know, I'm not a big TV watcher at all, actually, but I've seen that episode. I guess I don't know why I remember it. Obviously, I guess it makes sense. The funny thing about these outbreaks, and you'll hear about measles outbreak. You know, oh, there's a measles outbreak, and they need to send home all the unvaccinated children, and they'll say, 13 kids with measles is an outbreak. Now, 1 in 40 children with autism is not considered an outbreak or cause for concern at all. But, 13 kids with measles, a completely curable illness that is normal, that nobody dies from. Anyway, my point is the ones that are getting sick are the ones that are vaccinated. The unvaccinated children aren't getting sick. They're not spreading the illness. They're not the ones getting sick, but they're still pointing the finger at them.
Because it's the whole brainwashing, as we were talking about earlier with the music. They're brainwashing people into thinking that they need this junk, which you don't, as Joshua was just stating. This stuff is absolute junk. I mean, if you read the ingredients on this stuff, it is absolute junk. And I don't understand why we're even at this point where they're forcing it through legislation on our children.
The funny
what
thing
do you got to do?
The funny thing is, like in schools, for instance, why does every kid have to get vaccinated? If you get your kid vaccinated and I don't, then we should be good because your kid can't get sick and neither can mine.
Right.
Because he's vaccinated.
If vaccines work, there shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah. If they work, then why does my kid have to get vaccinated? Because yours got it, so we're good.
I do want to tell everyone is that 2 states you cannot get vaccine exemptions. Every other state in the country you can get a vaccine exemption if your child attends public school. That would be West Virginia, and unfortunately that would be California. Now, in California, you can still get a medical exemption. It's going to be difficult, but you can get it. So technically, there's only 1 state.
How about
this? Can you tell us how?
Just tell them no. Just tell them no. Screw the exemption.
When you guys do that show, I think it would be great if you could let people know how to do it, because it's one thing to bring up the problem, but we need to have a solution. So,
it varies
I would love
from
to hear
state to state. It varies from state to state, honestly. What I will do is I'll have some links available, and I'll give y'all some websites that will tell you exactly the process to go through for your state. I live in Texas, and Texas, honestly, we have an extremely easy process. It's so simple. I request a form from the state. They send it to me. I get it notarized. That is it. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to say anything.
That's what drives me nuts. Just say no. Why do we have to fill out anything? Why do we have to opt out? No. If you want to be dumb enough to vaccinate yourself or your children, when you read the ingredients, you realize it's all poisons. But you should have to opt in to poison your child. Why do I have to opt out, not to poison mine? See, this blows my mind. Screw the opt-out crap. How about this? Look at my mem in United Against Forced Vaccination. Check that page out on Facebook.
That's a great
United
page.
Against Forced Vaccination. We are no more. There's no more. We have to stop this crap. There's no more. When you say no, no is freaking no. Screw this filling out a paper and taking and getting notarized. Why do we have to do that? These things are poisons. They don't work. This is just out of control, and we need to stop it.
Bureaucracy,
Renegade.
man. It's bureaucracy. It's all bureaucracy. It's red tape, and it's then you need permission to live in this system, man. You need permission to work. You need permission to breathe. You need a birth certificate. If I want to go out in the
marriage license, driver's license.
Yeah, exactly. If I want to have a kid with my girl in the woods, I can't. You know what I mean? I can't just go out in the wild and have a natural birth. They need that certificate. They need that Social Security card. You know what I'm saying?
Because they profit off of that.
They got to get you on the paper. You got to be on the books. They need you on the books.
You got to be on the books.
They would profit.
Oh, that's a whole other rabbit hole to delve down, guys. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's another show.
The issue
that is
with
another
security
show.
numbers. That's a whole. When the moment I woke up, I was I remember it clicked. I was at an autism conference. I was like, these crazy hippies, I'm just going to go. What have I got to lose? I went, and then it clicked, and I said, holy crap, my son was injured. Quick. I know the exact moment, the doctor, everything. I remember exactly how it went down because he got so sick within hours. And then when that happened, it just kept on opening and opening and opening. And, like, the rabbit hole just keeps going deeper. And, oh, my, even still now. Still.
Yeah, but it's still so much more that we don't know yet. It's still so much more that we can't even think about.
Well, we need more whistleblowers.
Guys, I want to throw something out there real quick. I'm not organizing this particular rally, but I am attending it. There's going to be a protest at the CDC in Atlanta, Georgia in October, at the end of October, October 23rd through 25th. They are protesting at the CDC. There's going to be some big names there. I know we're not big fans of mainstream politicians and whatnot. RFK's there. He's actually a big name for the cause, believe it or not. Dr. Hooker's going to be there. There's going to be several people in attendance. They're talking numbers of 10,000 plus, and I'm going to be flying in, and I'm going to be attending that. So that's definitely something worth checking out. It's called vaxtruth.org, VAXtruth.org. And if you can't go, get the word out because they can't ignore
Michelle,
numbers.
this is really something big. I mean, this is absolutely going against our rights to life and our sovereignty. I mean, you have a corporation that makes a product, and what is going on is they're forcing it on us.
Forcing you.
How are you going to force a product that there's no evidence? There's no evidence. What you have is propaganda to support it. No evidence, though. There's nothing that they've ever put out cures any of these diseases. And I love hearing the polio one. Well, they made polio. No. What eradicated polio was actually hold on. Here, I just skimmed past this one. I need this. Hold on. This is good. Hold on. Here we go. What eradicated polio? Your shitter, septic systems, clean water, soap. How about this? All in all, general hygiene. And there was a whole article written with plumbers talking about how big pharma is such an what's the term I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, it just escaped me. They just take it and go with it. They are.
Remember, they create
opportunists.
They don't create cures.
That's right. Yep. They create customers, not cures. They are opportunists. They go with it.
I'm very, I guess, egocentric, and when I talk about vaccines and vaccine injury because it's so close to my heart with my son, now, like I said, a lot of the people that are awake in the movement don't realize everything that I've gone through with my son recently and the discovery of his epilepsy. Now, here's where the real, they're just kind of busting my balls, where they get you. My son has a brain injury. The left side of his brain has electrical misfires constantly. So because of this, and his neurologist, his mainstream neurologist, who is a tenured professor at University of Texas, sat down. He cried, and he told me that my son's epilepsy was caused by vaccine injury. I was in complete flipping disbelief that this mainstream doctor, he cried. He cried because my son had been labeled with all of these disabilities. And so here's the thing. Like I said, they create customers, not cures. So my son is vaccine injured. He has all these issues, all these developmental problems, all these health problems. And now, I discovered this epilepsy. So now I'm giving him pharmaceuticals because
the big circle. See how it works?
It is a circle. But here's the thing, Renegade. It's a circle. This medicine that he takes is $350 a month. And
breaking your bank as well.
Here's the thing. He woke up. So here I am, anti-big pharma. They stole my baby from me, my healthy, typically developing child. But then I have to buy back in because I mean, my son's brain is not working,
I'm
desperate.
That's how they planned it.
And I bought back in, and it worked. Now it's still got me by the proverbial balls, of course. By the ovaries, I suppose, is probably a better.
Yeah, but you know what the problem
but,
is? Whatever he's taking now to that is working is probably going to have an adverse effect because they count on that. That's how they design it. So you have to go back for more.
We've been lucky, and it's affected his sleep, but that's part of autism anyway. Cannabis oil, CBD oil, unfortunately, low THC, but CBD oil was legalized in Texas during the last
nice.
Session, which is
that works.
I can't even believe it. Texas legalized CBD. Now
Good.
It has to be less than 0.03% of THC. We can only have we have to have a minimum of 3 dispensaries in the state. Now, keep in mind, Texas spans hundreds of miles. It takes 12 hours to get from top to bottom, side to side, and you have to get prescriptions. Doctors will not prescribe a Schedule 1 drug because they will lose their license and they can go to prison. And not only do they have to prescribe it, I have to get 2 doctors. I have to find 2 doctors willing to place their livelihood, their careers, and their freedom on the line to prescribe CBD oil to my child.
Right.
And only individuals with epilepsy that cannot be treated successfully with drugs qualify.
Don't you love how Big Pharma has their politicians putting laws into effect where you can't take something that heals you? It's just unbelievable. This whole thing. From the show, the beginning of the show, talking about the New World Order, leading into the music industry. Now we're dealing once again with the New World Order, where they're forcing things on you, and they're withholding things from you. They withhold natural remedies, but they want you in their system. It is absolutely out of control. And you have musicians like Ninja Scroll, myself, Renegade Smith, Mattrix, Destiny Lab. And many others out there that are speaking this truth through our music. That's the God-given talent that we have. That's where He calls us. That's our little our nudge that we need. And we're very passionate about us. And you know what? Go ahead and listen to the lamestream music industry. They don't compare to what we have to offer over here in the underground. The real truth movement music. I mean, I'm sorry, man. There's no one out there that can hold a candle up to any of us out here. I can't believe how sold out the world has gotten on crap. It blows my mind. You're listening to this? What? How about I introduce you to this? And on that being said, guys, I want to. I'm a little over the 2-hour mark. I want to be able to upload this for replay. I want to thank all of you, and to lead us out. I'm going right here. Ninja Scroll, legal drug kingpins. I got to play this one on the topic. Michelle, you need to hold your thought.
Hold on a second, Renegade. Hold on a second. I had to jump back in.
Back.
Yeah, I was just listening, man. But I wanted to jump in and say hello to Michelle. It's been a long time since she's been on the show.
She's coming back. Big Pharma show coming up.
But I definitely want to give her a shout out, and again, everybody that joined us tonight, Ninja Scroll, Joshua, Matthew, everybody that helped us out tonight. It was an amazing show, full of information and good stuff, man. It was an honor.
Yeah, man. But thank you guys for having me on, man. I love it. I love being with you guys and talking with y'all. I really enjoy it, and thank you guys for promoting my music all the time. That's real big for me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know you just released a new track too. I'm digging that one. If anybody,
thank you, man.
Yeah, anybody out there interested, go ahead and check out Ninja Scroll on SoundCloud. Go ahead and go there, and also you have a Facebook page too, right?
Yeah, I got Ninja Scroll Facebook page, and our website has all the links on it. officialninjascroll.webs.com.
Right on.
Ninja, man. I'm not saying, I'm just planting a seed right here. But I'm gonna hit you up, man. I don't know how busy of a guy you are, but I got a good following in upstate New York. I'm gonna hit you up, nigga. Your shit is dope, man.
I'm with it, man. Yeah, I'm with it, man. You know, it's whatever. Just hit me up, and we'll get together and do something.
Yeah, you know, it can happen, man. Dennis and them will tell you, I'm no joke.
Right.
Yeah, you put it out there, man. He's good. You know, I love this, man. I love hooking up with all you guys, man. This talent is just out of control. Like, someone stop us. I love it. It's an honor to know all you.
Where'd Michelle go? Michelle still with us?
I'm still here.
All right, yeah, Michelle. I just want
that I'm quiet, but I'm.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, man. It's good hearing your voice. It's been too long, so I'll get in touch with you. Hopefully, we can work something out. We'll do a show in the future, or something.
I would love that. I'm definitely trying to dive back in. You know, we're getting
Michelle,
things straight over
ready.
here with these. We're getting
Michelle,
things straight
I'm
over
telling
here
you.
with these, so I'm ready to jump back in, and you know, I'm really passionate about not just vaccines and big pharma, but all aspects of being freedom, of being awake, of everything, whatever term you want to use, of living your life free from being controlled.
Tyranny.
Right on.
Tyranny.
I can dig it.
Michelle, I'm definitely going to be, I've been trying to set this one up. I want to get a couple big sluggers here. You know, Joel Lord from Vaccine Resistance Movement. I'm trying to get him involved in this. Lowell Hub. We have Landy Currie. She's been fighting SB 277 in California hardcore. And you, of course. I want to get a bunch of people in on the show. It is time to expose Big Pharma for what they are. Bunch of frauds. A bunch of death-dealing frauds. And Bill Gates as well.
They're killing us. They're killing our children.
They're killing our future.
They're dumbing us down and making us dependent.
Yep,
right.
Exactly.
21 to me.
That's right. Jenna 21.
A sick population is a weak population, man. You know,
That's
when people are strong in mind, body, and soul, population is unstoppable when they're strong in mind, body, and soul. You know what I mean? When you're sick mentally, physically, and spiritually, then you're very susceptible to what they want you to be. And that's the thing that, you know, is happening. We're being attacked on every possible level. We're being attacked. You know, so
yes, we are.
We're in all directions. We got to fight in every direction. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, good luck to all you guys. We're in this together. You guys are great people. God bless you. It's been a pleasure. Everyone.
Yeah, same to you, brother.
Yeah, you too, man.
Stay strong, my man. Matt's Mattrix right there. Well, hey, everyone, thank you so much for calling in. Denny, Ninja Scroll, Michelle, Mattrix, Joshua. Hey, man, love you all. God bless you all.
Yeah, awesome show,
I'm going to roll this. I'm going to lead the show out of here. We are going to be back. Denny, we need to do it like a part 4, part 5, because ain't enough been said yet. Ain't enough been said yet about this industry.
Like I said, man, the rabbit hole it's infinite. It goes on and on and on.
I mean, it just led right into a Big Pharma. And Michelle, you will be a part of that show. I'm forcing you into it.
I look forward to it. I always love working with you guys.
Awesome.
Right on.
I'm so glad to hear you again. Well, hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is the New Element on Infinite Source Broadcast Network. What are we, Saturday, tomorrow night? Hopefully the Arsenal of Sound will happen with Dennis, Mr. Friday Night Forward, and Lee, the Mouth Pier. If not, Denny, hey, maybe we can make it happen.
Yeah, man, I'm down. We can do Arsenal of Sound tomorrow, play some music, you know.
Let's do it.
We can do that. I'm down. We can do it tomorrow.
All right. There we go. And, hey, to lead us out tonight, Ninja Scroll, legal drug kingpins, based off the conversation we just had. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. God bless.
Good night, everybody.
Keep fighting for freedom.
If you have money, you can buy anything.
It's another day. The rich take money from the poor, dress them up in pink, make them all race for the cure. Drug companies have billions and want more. Got you running out to buy pink stuff from the store. Use the story to play the emotional game, make you feel shame, all the heartache and pain. It's a scam. They use cancer patients' name, taking money as a donation to make gains. The cure already exists. no myth, think about it. You and I will go without it. You can't believe what the news may say, but I doubt it. Got you blinded, your thought process is all clouded. Business as usual, money and wealth. They your companies, they don't care about your health. These are sick to make more dough for themselves, raking in the cash every time a new drug sells.
We got uppers, downers, antidepressants, drugs for seniors, and all kind of medicine. Psychotic drugs to suppress aggression. Even now, drugs to relieve depression. Yes, we drug kids, I forgot to mention. In drug-free zones for hypertension or ADHD, whatever you call it. Legal drug kingpins, we always call it. We got the FDA and the CDC. WHO all talk disease.
Yeah.
Hand in hand with big drug companies, sucking up the whole world with these.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. Legalized, only difference from the common street thugs. FDA approved, safe and secure. There's no bug side effects swept under the rug. Politicians in cahoots with the drug dealers. They're getting paid to pass laws and cover up mistakes they made. They don't care if you end up hurt or in the grave. The result of the drugs they gave. Big money in the health system. They don't want to cure disease. Make medicine just to hold off disease. They can cure the common cold if they want naturally, but they won't, cause it's all about greed and deed.
We got uppers, downers, antidepressants, drugs for seniors, and all kind of medicine. Psychotic drugs to suppress aggression. Even now, drugs to relieve depression. Yes, we drug kids, I forgot to mention. In drug-free zones for hypertension or ADHD, whatever you call it. Legal drug kingpins, we always call it. We got the FDA and the CDC. WHO all talks disease. Hand in hand with big drug companies, drugging up the whole world with these.
The big pharmaceutical companies got us hooked since babies, plus all their vaccines and flu shots, whooping cough vaccination, steady flow of money from the zombie patients. We get drugs, fluoride throughout our water, every day coming up with some new disorder. In order to prescribe a drug, a fake fix that holds back the things that makes our brain sick. They get rich, they don't prevent from getting sick. Drug sales is how they keep their pockets thick. Big pharma and the alphabet, drug kingpins, only ones in the end that wins.
We got uppers, downers, antidepressants, drugs for seniors, and all kind of medicine. Psychotic drugs to suppress aggression. Even now, drugs to relieve depression. Yes, we drug kids, I forgot to mention. In drug-free zones for hypertension or ADHD, whatever you call it. Legal drug kingpins, we always call it. We got the FDA and the CDC. WHO all talk disease. Hand in hand with big drug companies, drugging up the whole world with these.
Now, I'll have to explain some of this when I'm done, because you're not going to understand it all unless you know something about music. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. The master is a tape that the album is cut on, and it's placed in a machine that produces and presses the record.
Coming at ya, damn hardcore. Got the warrior sound, pump project the hype that I'm ready for war. Full body, can you feel it penetrate? The physics is a weapon, you're attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade.
Well, they say he sold the test to the devil.
Hit me with that warrior sound. Something that moves me. Knock the trap from the leg stream into the street. Like sounds and songs like on Saran wrap a bubble dog. Good while the flavor lasts. Then I'm gone. Living a scripted life. Trendsetting purposes to find the public eye. Off of fame and fortune. The inner crowd. That can't also pick the straps in and knock it down. It will all be taken away in the blink of an eye if you start to stray. Hush, hush, can't take you up. Swore up the confinement. Is your contract up? Coming at ya, damn hardcore. Got the warrior sound, pumping, get the hunt, and I'm ready for war. Full body, can you feel it penetrate? The physics is a weapon, you're attacked by a renegade. Coming at ya, damn hardcore. Got the warrior sound, pumping, get the hunt, and I'm ready for war. Full body, can you feel it penetrate? The physics is a weapon, you're attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade.
I asked him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
Luciferian symbols open up your mind through there. subliminal, the criminal Rockefeller family owns and controls the music industry. Hey, nephews, support their cause. You have arms and thoughts, so take that iPod off. Call me crazy, call me what you will. You cannot call me a sellout or a shill. I am real and I speak truth. This music comes straight from my heart, created just for you. Living life on my own terms, think for myself. Independent, my soul, I will never sell. Coming at ya, damn hardcore. Got the winner sound pumping, get the hype, and I'm ready for war. Full volume, can you feel it penetrate? The music is a weapon, you're attacked by the renegade. Coming at ya, damn hardcore. Got the winner sound pumping, get the hype, and I'm ready for war. Full volume, can you feel it penetrate? The music is a weapon, you're attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade.
I heard a lot of people say that he sold himself to the devil with his crossroads.
It's very scary. That devil is real.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and in the world we can't see.
I sold my soul to the devil.
It didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Now for a second, to stop and think. What's up with all these deaths in the industry? There's blood money is right. Something's going on behind the scenes. Hate, sight, untouchable criminal with double track. Supply the finest drugs, creating addicts. This will play into the fans of they were murdered by red overdose in the newspaper. Or suicide. Another broken oath. Their contract is up. Now sending the show coming at ya. Damn hardcore. Got the warrior sound pumping, get the hype, and I'm ready for war. Full volume, can you feel it penetrate? The music is a weapon, you're attacked by a renegade. Coming at ya. Damn hardcore. Got the warrior sound pumping, get the hype, and I'm ready for war. Full volume, can you feel it penetrate? The music is a weapon, you're attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade. Attacked by a renegade.
And the satanic connection in Hollywood and the music industry.
And a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record